Hey all, welcome to the Rake monthly Rake review. As we all know, May wasn't just any old month for Bitcoin. It was a month where Bitcoin hit new all-time highs, US debt continued to increase, and global sentiment really shifted. In this breakdown, we're going to cover a number of things. Bitcoin's breakout and what it really signaled, key takeaways from Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, the technical setup for June, macro news, as well as an education section as to why Bitcoin is the solution for a world built on debt. Let's jump into it. May was the month that redeemed Bitcoin. After a low of 74,500 in April, May not only reclaimed 100,000, but it pushed on and set a new all-time high, just shy of 112,000. Why? The US debt continued to balloon out, money supply continued to grow, macro sentiment was mixed, but at the end of the day, Bitcoin led. It was a strong lesson that conviction really does pay off. And those who were stayed strong and convicted on their Bitcoin purchases were rewarded. The hype around Bitcoin really wasn't just in the charts, but it was also on the ground. Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, one of the leading conventions within the crypto space. Rake had boots on the ground, and the shift was very obvious. Bitcoin leaders like JD Vance, Donald Trump Jr., and Eric Trump all took the stage to chat about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But their message wasn't clear. Bitcoin isn't a fringe anymore, it is now the agenda. As well as that, we also saw key figures within the crypto space. Lynn Alden, unmissable. She led the fiscal reality. The US is past the point of return, and in her words, nothing stopped this train, referring to the US debt. Bitcoin isn't just an idea, it's becoming a policy-proof financial infrastructure. After setting new all-time highs in May, June's setup was relatively neutral. We saw lower highs and lower lows on the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin was hovering just above 104,000 to start the month. Historically, June has been quite bullish for Bitcoin, returning an average of just under 8% a month. 8% a month will put Bitcoin just at $113,000, so another new all-time high. But the good thing about Bitcoin's shaky start, it gave both the bulls and the bears an opportunity to fight for control. And as we all know, the bulls came out on top. We managed to push Bitcoin up to $110,000 before a slight pullback, which was then compounded by current escalations within the Middle East. Bitcoin is now back in a relatively neutral stance, and it both gives an opportunity for the bulls and the bears to fight for control. If the bears are to win, we may see Bitcoin fall back under $100,000, but there is some key support around the 97 to 99K fair value gap region, as seen as the chart above. There were a few other macro headlines that helped shape the month of May. We saw the US get downgraded in its credit rating for the first time in history. We saw Coinbase become the first cryptocurrency company to join the S&P 500. We also saw more institutional adoption of Bitcoin continuing, with GameStop announcing that they bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin, and Donald Trump media planning their $2.5 billion allocation towards cryptocurrency. Bitcoin 2025 also saw Pakistan announce that they have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, as well as the UAE announcing their Bitcoin reserves. So Bitcoin isn't just being accumulated quietly anymore. It's being normalized across institutions, balance sheets, and borders. Now we move on to the education side of things, the debt spiral and why Bitcoin is the lifeboat. Let's zoom out for a second. The US are paying over $1 trillion of debt a year, just in interest alone. The debt to GDP ratio is now above 133%, and every policy option either expands the debt or inflates it away. The playbook: suppress yields, manipulate demand, and pretend it's fine. This is why Bitcoin matters. It's not just anti-inflation, it's outside the fiat machine. It doesn't care about central banks, elections, or balance sheets. It's the lifeboat for capital. And longer the system holds up, the more urgent that lifeboat becomes. As Lynn Alden put it, nothing stops this train. This is why Bitcoin is the solution. Bitcoin offers an escape, but more importantly, it offers a path forward. A way to exit the system without opting out of the future. And as we saw this month, institutions are already awake to that. The system is shifting, the train is moving. Are you staying on or are you stepping off? Thanks for watching the May edition of the Rake Review. Drop a like, share, subscribe if you found it valuable. And as always, if you're ready to get allocated, Rake is here to help. Cheers, see you guys next month.